All right, guys, today we have some PlayStation news to go over and discuss. We have multiple topics to go over once again. So if you could do me a favor before we get into it and hit that like button to help the video out and show your support, I would really appreciate it. But we're starting here with some exciting news for God of War, as Sony Santa Monica put out a post today saying God of War enhanced performance experience for PlayStation 5. And so let's read what it is they're doing with God of War. The PlayStation 5 launch has been an exciting time for everyone here at Santa Monica Studio. We've been especially happy to see all the players who have taken advantage of backward compatibility to try out God of War on the new hardware, as well as those who have picked up the game for the first time through the PlayStation Plus collection. Since then, our team has been working on a video graphics mode option that will enable players to get the most out of the increased performance capabilities of the PlayStation 5. On the PlayStation 4 Pro version of God of War, you have a choice between two graphics modes, one that favors performance and one that favors resolution. Coming to you tomorrow on February 2nd, we will be releasing a free patch that replaces the current video graphics mode option with a new default setting that will offer the best of both performance and resolution to our PlayStation 5 players. And so it says enhanced performance experience syncs at 60 FPS, 4K checkerboard resolution, 2160p. You can go back to the original PlayStation 4 favor resolution video graphics mode at any time by selecting original performance experience, which will offer 4K checkerboard resolutions synced to 30 FPS. So this is a pretty significant update that a lot of people are very excited about, because the only way you could achieve this, as far as I'm aware, previously is you needed the disc version of God of War with no patches installed. And even then, this sounds like it's a little bit more than that. This sounds like it's a pretty significant boost across the board based off of what they're saying here. And so, yeah, for those who are looking to go back and give God of War another playthrough and you own a PlayStation 5, now you are going to get the best of both worlds. Whether you have the disc version or the digital version, it doesn't matter now. So I thought that this was really cool. One other thing I want to say about this is it's nice to see that Sony Studios are still working on upgrades for these PS4 exclusives, and that they didn't just abandon that type of work like immediately after the PS5 launched. So hopefully we'll continue to see more of this. But we're going to move on and talk about another Sony first-party title, this being Gran Turismo 7, as we have some interesting information about the title. Apparently, it's going to be more in line with the older classic Gran Turismo games. It says Gran Turismo 7 will mark a return to the classic games in the series. In an interview with Octane, Polyphony Digital CEO Kazunori Yamauchi stated that while esports will factor into the game, they won't be as big of a focus as they were in the last title, Gran Turismo Sport. As Yamauchi explained, Gran Turismo Sport took the challenge of full-scale esports in a move away from the traditional model of previous games. And it says the problem is it didn't really sell as well. The game did manage to attract 9.5 million players in the end, but it didn't sell explosively from the beginning, is what it says here in quotations. The reason for this was seemingly because it may have seemed quite outlandish for some people. As such, GT7 will keep some esports elements like the FIE certified Gran Turismo championships, but the game will return to the classic and nostalgic feel of games like Gran Turismo 1 through 4, and it will provide the best Gran Turismo experience to date. And so it goes on to say here that, GT7 has been in development for a very long time, and it plans to take full advantage of the PlayStation 5 hardware. And so this is what Yamauchi had to say specifically about ray tracing for GT7 on the PS5. He said, "In the evolution from PS4 to PS5, what we have been waiting for is the realization of real-time path tracing. Path tracing is a CG simulation method that is also called ray tracing and faithfully reflects the reflection of the subject on the light source. CG for movies has been around for a long time, but it was difficult to obtain the computing power required to operate it in real time in a video game console. Being able to surpass that with PS5 has greatly improved expressiveness in the scenery of the world. Many of the smooth and shiny objects are automobiles. It uses a lot of metal and glass and is beautifully painted. It can be expected to be even more effective in expressing such glossy things in a realistic manner. And then he was also talking a little bit about the future of the franchise in general. And he said, Gran Turismo was created by Japanese automobile culture. I myself grew up as a car enthusiast surrounded by the influence of Japanese automobile manufacturers and the transmission of automobile media. And that is also the driving force behind my production. Although the title has been played worldwide, I have never forgotten that it originated in Japan, and now I feel the responsibility and mission of inheriting the Japanese automobile culture. So a pretty interesting update regarding GT7 here. This is a title that we don't talk about too often here on the channel, but there's no doubt it's going to do really, really well when it releases on the PS5. And it is worth noting, it is going to be a PS5 only title. And I think this game is going to be a big one for Sony, honestly, because GT7 used to be a massive, massive seller with the original titles, and since then it has kind of fallen off a little bit, so we could see kind of a return here, especially the fact that he's mentioning they're going back to the more classic GT games such as 1 through 4, and I am excited to see just how good the ray tracing is going to look in this title. But we're going to move along from that and talk a little bit about another PlayStation exclusive, although we cannot call it a PlayStation exclusive any longer, that being MLB The Show. Today, Sony made a very significant announcement, which should not come as a surprise because we already knew about this quite some time ago. However, I have a feeling most people forgot about it, and that is the fact that MLB The Show is now a multi-platform title. Yes, that's right. Sony is now officially a multi-platform publisher when it comes to MLB The Show. And so they put out a tweet, says the game has changed, announcing Fernando Tatis Jr. as the cover athlete for MLB The Show 21, arriving April 20th. And then there's a tweet below that says MLB The Show launches day and date on PS4 and PS5 with cross-platform play on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. So that last tweet there is the one that's just crazy to read, and we've seen the box art now officially. I've seen Xbox tweet about it, Phil Spencer tweet about it, Aaron Greenberg tweet about it, and it's just very interesting to see this. And a lot of people are taking weird stances with it, and I don't know why. Like, it's a sports game. I know that it has been exclusive to PlayStation for some time, but again, if we go back to the announcement, this happened all the way back on December 9th, 2019. That's when PlayStation announced a multi-year, multi-platform partnership extension with the MLB, and it was made abundantly clear that, yes, MLB The Show is going everywhere. It's very clear that this was most likely not Sony's decision. It was most likely the MLB saying, look, if you're going to remain the publisher, we want this game to be on all platforms, and if you're not willing to do that, we're going to find a different publisher. And so Sony obviously would be like, well, we don't want to lose this, so sure, we'll make it multi-platform. And this is a big win for everybody, honestly. You know, I am a believer in exclusive games and exclusive content. I think that's very important and critical for all platforms, but a game like MLB going multi-platform, again, I think is a big win for everybody because it's a sports title, and you know, Sony's going to benefit from this greatly because now they're going to get the sales on PlayStation as well as Xbox and wherever else it may go in the future. And I just think that's good in general. Does this mean that God of War and Horizon and on GT7 and all of these PlayStation exclusives are going to suddenly be going to Xbox and other platforms? No, they're not. I don't know why anybody would think that. Again, if you read between the lines, it's very clear that Sony basically didn't have much of a choice here. It was either let the MLB license go or make it multi-platform. Now, if you're in that position and the MLB games sell really well for you and you make a lot of money off them, what do? I think it's pretty obvious. So there you go. I think that there's a lot of Xbox fans who are very happy about this because I know that there are Xbox fans who've been crying out for a proper MLB game on the Xbox platform for quite some time. So yeah, really good stuff here that we're seeing. You know, one last thing I do want to say in regards to this is I've kind of said on Twitter how this is a very significant moment in PlayStation history. And a lot of people were like disagreeing with me, saying they don't see it as significant, but I think they misunderstood what I meant. The significance is booting up a game on an Xbox platform where you see the PlayStation Studios logo. You know, seeing the Sony San Diego logo pop up, like that is significant. I mean, who would have thought that that would have ever been a thing, right? I wouldn't have. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. That's pretty much all I have for you today, just kind of keeping it gaming focused here. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about this God of War patch. Let me know what you think about what the creator of Gran Turismo had to say about the upcoming exclusive GT7. And let me know what you think about MLB The Show making its way to the Xbox platform. I will be very interested to see what you have to say. Leave it a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the notification bell, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.